Hey, what's going on? Happy Monday. This is a training that I'm doing for part of our partner program. We get a lot of inbound opportunities from the relationships that we've set up throughout the country. And this is a bunch of different sharing vendors and partners. But you have to understand exactly what your goal is with these clients. High conversion rates are possible, and this is a fantastic way to build your database and sharpen your skills all at the same time. So we're going to go over that. This is how to convert a live call transferred off. So what happens is you have all these partners that we have generating leads, and they're working the leads. They're inside sales agents. They're qualifying the leads. They're calling the leads. They're talking to leads. As soon as that prospect is nurtured to the point where they say, hey, I'd like to talk to a real estate agent, they send out the alert. And when they send out the alert, it goes to their best performers. Now, in the beginning, when you get on this, we pay referral fees for this, and typically large referral fees. What happens is they want to send them to their best agents, their best partners that are converting them at the highest rate, because the more we close, the more money they make. Now, in the beginning, they kind of test us. And what happens is the best performers get a competitive advantage. In the beginning, we want to take every single lead possible. We want to try to claim it as quickly as possible. What happens is once you've downloaded the app, you get it all set up. We'll take care of that later. You literally just click claim the lead. It'll tell you their price point. It'll tell you where they're looking, what kind of property, but you literally want to click it instantly. The average winning time is 5 seconds, no joke, because we track all this stuff. And if you can do that, though, you can generate 5, 10, 15 extra closings off these partners. In the beginning, the first 90 days, you want to really be crystal clear on your goals of the program, and you want to be lightning fast to the response times, and you want to be razor sharp when it comes to the conversation. So quick acceptance to the lead within 5 seconds is going to help you win at a high rate. And even if they're low price point leads, which they will be in the beginning, claim them, work them, show some property. We've got our showing agents. We can help facilitate that and make sure it's a win for everybody. But no joke, they judge based on quickest to transactions. There was an agent on the partner model that had 2 leads. They were leases. They just slam dunked them, and they literally got their third client was $1 million client. So this is a long-term play to grow your business and get cash now. And in a shifting market, we want to take every opportunity possible, because not only is it cash right now or a commission here in the next 90 days, but it's also another piece of your database that can then be opportunity for referrals. So again, we focus on great service. We focus on getting to the lead as fast as humanly possible. And it's kind of a fun and exciting too, because it comes in, you got to get it. When you win, it really feels great. So we wrote a script that is specific to our approach. Just so you know, I've been consulting and training agents on lead conversion for almost over 12 years now. When I was working this program, I was converting around a 25% rate, meaning every lead to come in would close at about 4. Now that was a 6-month average, because again, it takes time for your pipeline to build. When you get leads now, you're gonna have people that are buying 9 months out, 12 months out, 6 months out, 3 months out. And so as you get further along, you're going to see better results. In the beginning, if you're converting 1 out of 10, you're doing a really great job. That's what the average is. But our goal is to get you to increase the production, increase the referrals, and it's all through your scripting and your conversation. First and foremost, when you're doing this, sneeze attack. Excuse me. All right, so when you're getting into the call, though, you want to be very quick, but you want to make sure that once you're on the call, they're going to call you and they're going to say, hey, so-and-so, this is Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. They're looking for X, Y, and Z, and I'm going to transfer you the call now. And once it comes on, you really just want to start breaking the ice and getting them to talk. The more that they can give you about them, the more opportunity there's going to be to build rapport. These aren't lockdown sales. These aren't guaranteed to work with you. So the moment they get on the line, it's time to put on the energy. It's time to put on the positivity. And most importantly, it's time to really ask good questions so you can listen to what they really want. So when you open up, this is a script that I wrote that's got some layers of human psychology in it, so that they're programmed to respond and has a little bit of control in the conversation, but you don't feel, it's not like a manipulative script. It's just laid out so that it has the best flow and seems really authentic. So, when they hop on the line, I'll say, hey, John, Josh Pono, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or whatnot, and I'll pause right there. What typically will happen, and by the way, this is a very specific way. When I wrote this, you say their name with familiarity. So you're not saying, hi, is this John? They just told you it was John, so you know it. So you want to say John or Susie or Debbie or whatever it is. You want to say it with a ton of familiarity, as if you've known them for a long time. Think about a time where you've got a phone call from somebody that was a good friend. You hadn't spoken to him in a long time, and they said, hey Josh, what's going on? And your belly instantly got warm. That's the goal, right? Like, get them in a positive, make that connection. The moment they hear your voice, it's positive, and it's like, hey, John. And then when you transition into your sales name, whatever your name is, John, James, Jimmy, Susie, Debbie, whatever it is, say it with some power. You're a licensed real estate professional. You are here to help make them as comfortable as possible through a stressful transaction, and you're the expert going to guide them and help them navigate the choppy waters. You've got experience, you've got skill. Say your name confidently. So, when I say it, hey, John, Josh Pono, good afternoon, and then back to positivity. But I want to let them know that, without saying it, I'm confident to be in this conversation. I know I can deliver value. My name is Josh Pono, and good afternoon. What a beautiful day. It's sunny San Diego. It's wherever it is. We're alive. We're shopping for some homes. It sounds like things are going pretty well. So I'll wait for the response. Usually they'll come back with, oh, good afternoon, or hey, nice to meet you. Sometimes, program-wise, they'll even say, oh, how are you, right? We never want to say, how are you? That's very salesy. And the reality is I'd sell a home to a cranky person. So whether they're feeling great, whether they're feeling bad, I'm going to try to help them out. But it doesn't really sway me whether I want to work with them. People just have bad days. So when they say, how are you, though, it's a programming thing, because when we're around people with manners and we're being taught of how to engage in conversation, and it's like if somebody says good morning to you, you're almost obligated to say, hey, good morning, how are you, or reaffirm that connection, right? And so when I say good morning, good afternoon, and then I pause, it puts the subtle pressure that they don't feel or don't even realize sometimes, and they end up saying, how are you? The moment they say, how are you, it gives me permission to show them my personality. Sales happen when somebody makes a connection. They like you, they trust you, they love you, and they know you can help, they know you care. But it starts with, they got to like you first. So when somebody says to me, hey, how are you? I don't say, well, it's been a crazy day. I've been slam dunking escrows. I've been, got one escrow on fire. What I do is I embrace the opportunity. I say something along the lines like, loving life, living the dream, just helping people build wealth through real estate. Or I'll say, I'm doing lovely. And I say it just like that because it's funny. It's a different approach. It catches them off guard, and they typically will laugh, or they'll typically respond with something extra positive as well. And now we're off to a fantastic start. It allows the rest of the conversation to just kind of cruise, and it gives you the confidence that they're gonna open up. They're not gonna be shut down. Now, if they just say, oh, good afternoon to you, and you can tell they mean business, then I take that part and I run with it. I mirror the direction that they want the call to go into. So I might say something along like, hey, nice to meet you, at least over the phone. So tell me what you're looking for. How's the home search going? And I stop. And what they'll typically say is, hey, we've been looking for homes a little bit. We had some questions. They'll go into it, and I will absolutely slow it down a little bit before I get to this qualifying. I will sit in that moment and really let them know that, hey, I care about what's going on. I want to congratulate you. I want to be there for you. It sounds like you got some great things going on. I won't immediately rush to, hey, can you actually buy a home, and are you worth my time to go shop? I'm going to invest in that relationship before I know whether or not it's going to pan out on me. And so, I'll come up and I'll say, well, first off, John, congrats. Buying a home can be a very exciting and awesome milestone time in life. Just so you know, we're an education-based real estate company to make sure that our clients get the most reliable information so they're in the absolute best position to make decisions when buying real estate. And just to kick it off, how long have you been looking for real estate? Now you'll notice that my tonality changes on that, right? Like I need to let them know that, hey, all I care about is giving you a great education and making sure you get what's best for you. I need you to know that because that's a big differentiator from us and the other agents. And now that we got that out of the way, how's the home search been going? Now, this will give you some insight to where they're at in the process because I know that I can speak to a buyer that, oh yeah, we've been making offers and we haven't got any accepted. So it's been rough. Okay, well, that's a whole different conversation than, you know what, we've been saving for 2 years. We haven't met with any agents. We are finally to the point now where, you know, we're thinking about it, but we're concerned about the market. Well, that's a whole other conversation, right? So how's the home search going, or how long have you been searching for a home? It's really to get them to give you some of those, which path do I take on this conversation, because as much as a script or a qualifying conversation is necessary and it is absolutely important to ensure we're spending our time with the best prospects, what is also important is that we really understand what we can do to help the people and really understand how to make this conversation feel as genuine and as relevant as if they're in control, even though we're getting all the information we need. We're kind of just going along with the flow. It's a river, it runs. We're going to get everything we need, but if it takes us to the left for a little bit, that's okay too. It doesn't have to be incredibly structured as long as you get the most important things. Most important things are make sure you're talking to all your decision makers, right? You don't want to show homes to one person if they're married, because you know that no matter what they say, even if they say I make all the decisions, well, you might make all the decisions until the real decision is to be made, and then nobody buys a home without their wife or their husband. 99.9999999% will never do it. So we don't do that. We show property to everybody. Money, making sure they're qualified. Obviously, we want to make sure that they have a conversation around the lender. But again, money, decision makers, finding out what their wants, needs, and their pains are. And last but not least, we also want to make sure they're controllable. Meaning, if I tell them that the best way for them to learn about whether or not it's the right time for them to fit in this market is to have a cup of coffee with me so I can really find out exactly what their motivations are and get face to face. If they're not willing to do that and they want to demand that I go show them properties before I even get them pre-approved, then I've got to work to explain the benefits. But at the end of the day, if I've given them many powerful reasons and I've let them know that this is the best way to do it and the only way to do it, and they still want to take the reins, I've got to seriously make a decision on whether or not I want to roll the dice on this one. Not saying that I never have, but obviously that's a case-by-case scenario. So when we get into the qualifying questions, you know, some of the things that I want to know is I don't have to say, when do you want to buy a home? I can ask questions around their actions. So, you know, how's the home search been going for you? Oh, it's been good. We've been looking for about 3 months. Okay, great. Have you gone and toured any properties in person? Okay, that's an indication of motivation. And oftentimes, you know, people say, yeah, we've gone to some open houses, but sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, we've been looking for 3 months and we've made 3 offers. Okay, great. Now this is an example where I'm going to let them control the conversation. So I asked if they toured any properties in person, and they said, yeah, we've been touring for 6 months. We've seen 25 properties and we made 3 offers. Well, I want to find out more about that. Because if you made 3 offers and you're not in a home and you're still talking to me, then obviously something went wrong. And most likely there is a point of pain, a point of value, and a point of need in that topic and that area. So when I say to them, oh, really? You had, and then my tone changes though. I don't get excited about like, you wrote 3 offers and you didn't get any excited. Well, it's because obviously you weren't working with me. That's the wrong approach, right? And so I instantly shift to curiosity detective mode where I say, wow, okay, wait. You made 3 offers and none of them got accepted. Well, hey, if you don't mind me asking, you know, one of the things I've always specialized in is understanding the contracts and which way to go. Question for you. What happened? Did you not like the house? Did you back out? How did you make 3 offers and none of them came through to where you're still talking to me? And you notice the tonality really drops, right? I'm totally genuinely curious. I want to see which way it goes. They might say something along like, honestly, Josh, we were lowballing. We threw it in. We had a buddy of ours that's part-time, and he just said, hey, let's throw it in. But, at this point, we're real serious now, right? Like, so it doesn't matter really what they say. I don't care where this conversation goes. We're kind of having this feel out time, but I do want to know, what happened. Because they also might say, well, you know what? The agent didn't tell us. We couldn't figure out what the other offers were. We were making blind offers the whole time in the sense that we didn't know where the other offers are. We didn't know how many. The agent didn't do a good job following with us. He couldn't give us any advice on pricing. She didn't explain the request for repair process properly. She didn't explain, what a contingency removal is. Like, she just pressured. Like, there could be all different kinds of reasons where you now will find out what's really important to them. So if they say, well, we had 3 offers and the agent didn't guide us and we weren't really motivated, great. So out of curiosity, if you found the perfect house now and I gave you the perfect advice to get you the property at a great, on great terms and at your preferred timeline, are you more motivated to do that now? What's changed since then in your life to get you going? Now, this is where I want to go with the conversation, because they'll come out and tell you, well, you know what, here's the deal. We were, we had 6 months on our lease yet, right? Like, you'll find that out, but now you can put the story together. Some of the other questions you want to know is, of course, hey, awesome. Have you spoken to a lender? Do you need to sell your home before you buy the next? Are there any specific, is there a specific time that would be best if you could get into your home? What are the driving factors of finding a home to purchase in the near future? Why are you going down this road? You've obviously known it's been a crazy real estate market. You know that the market has been getting shifting news, and now you want to talk about buying. So you must have a fantastic reason. And there are a lot in the market right now. Do you have a lender that you love and trust and the most competitive interest rates? Most of the time, these referral leads, they have a lender. That doesn't mean they don't want to hear about a competition shop or a preferred lender that we have in the office. I mean, at the end of the day, they have the right to use whoever they want. But most time they do. So you can say, have you had the meeting with the lender that was introduced to you? Are you looking for competitive rates? Did you appreciate that conversation? And then, of course, you also want to ask the question, are you already working with an agent? Especially when they say, I was touring homes, I made offers. So what happened to the relationship with the other agent? A lot of times I've watched agents avoid this conversation. And I think, most of the time, one second. Boys, I can't have you playing outside of this right now. So most of the time, that's building training videos in a COVID environment where you got kids at home from summer camp. Sometimes there is just an epic Marvel battle going outside your office door. With that being said, I digress. So we'll get back into the all right. So when we get into that position of what happened with the agent, a lot of the time the agents I've found don't want to ask that question, whether they're assuming because they in the conversation said something, but you do really want to know, because there are people that will use you to show some homes, and then when it comes to writing the offer, go the other way. I know that when I go and meet with people, I'm okay if they're working with other agents. I want to give them superior service. I believe my market knowledge is strong. I spent a lot of time studying that. I spent a lot of time educating them on the process before we get going. And the biggest compliment we always get with this process is they're like, you guys don't have commission breath. You guys help us find the right information before we ever make decisions, and we love that. So I'm going to let that factor play its part in due time. But I do want to say, hey, you made some offers. Have you separated with that other agent, or are you still thinking about using them, or why are you talking to me? What values are you looking for that you're not getting elsewhere? I like that better than why are you talking to me? What values are you looking for that you're not getting elsewhere? Okay. Now, once you found out who's buying the home, the decision maker. Once you found out some of their wants, needs, and pains. And by the way, you'll notice that I don't go into the property a lot. I don't go into the financing a lot because all of that stuff doesn't matter until I meet them, in my opinion. I don't care whether they're buying now or in a year or in 18 months. I want to get in front of them. I want to deliver a fantastic buyer consultation. And then I want to make sure that I stay in touch with them and I nurture them. And I can do that way better than anywhere else if I'm in person with them. Justin, do you have any questions?
Just on that last part, when you said about the lending, was that you said that you'd only want to ask them like about, or can you just
I'm not going to go into super details there. I'm going to say, hey, did you already meet with the lender? Are you open to a competitive shop? And then I'll hold that information. If they say no, they're not interested, or hey, they haven't met with them, I'll say, great, we can cover that conversation later. I'm not going to get into the particulars of like, so tell me, are you looking for a 3-bed, a 4-bed, a 5-bed? None of that stuff really matters yet to me. And that's so typical agent talk because it's easy. It's the one that everybody wants to share because they're excited and they come out with it for the most. But I want to differentiate myself from the questions and the approach, and that includes being strategic about when I talk to that. Plus, at this point, we don't know what they're approved for. We don't know what areas they're looking for. We don't know what kind of amenities they want, and we don't know what their preferred monthly payment is. And so until we have that, the property profile type doesn't really mean as much today. And this is where I'll transition right into the going for the appointment. Now, I spend time asking nothing but questions in all that conversation and listening and taking notes because at the end, I'm going to use that information to offer the client the best, most relevant value I can. And I'm going to phrase it in a way so that it sounds like an incredibly valuable thing for them because it is. And then ask them a really easy question to get them to say, yes, we'll meet with them. I'm not going to come out and just say, well, hey, do you want to meet up for some coffee and we can talk some real estate? I'm going to make sure that I give them the value of why it's important we meet in the process. And so, and then I'm also, because I'm willing to ask them what kind of agent they're looking for and because of, how they met the other agent and are they still working with them, I'm going to start to differentiate myself in the way I close for the appointment. Okay. So I'll say something along like, John, one of the things that clients love about our company that separates us from most agents in San Diego is that we focus on making sure that the client understands the market of the moment, what's going on right now, happening today, how to have the smoothest transaction, and how to find the best deals that most people miss. And what we found is that other agents typically rush the client to look at homes and make offers before they even really know if it's the right time or the fit for the client. It's a huge waste of time. Has anybody ever sat down with you and really had an in-depth conversation with you, Justin, about the process, the market, where to find the best deals in the last 30 days? Most of the time, the guys, they're going to say no. And the reason why I ask the question that way, where I'm really in depth, really specific about the market, where to find the best deals, all those things, is I want to cover that with them, and I want to make it different. And I want to make sure also I don't say, well, has anybody talked to you about the market lately? Because most likely the answer is yes. So if I set them up to get them to be like, yeah, I already got that, I've already done that, then it doesn't keep the flow going. So again, has anybody sat down with you in person, really had an in-depth conversation with you about the real estate process, what's going on in today's market, and where to find the absolute best deals in the last 30 days while sellers are a little scared? And I might even throw in a little sprinkle there, like, hey, where the sellers are kind of scared right now. And most likely they're going to say no. And you say, well, hey, listen, we do that with every client. Is that something you would find valuable while you're in this part of your research phase? And Almost always. I mean, it's extremely rare. The only time I get no here is when they say, no, I want to do that in 2 months or 3 months. That's a whole other training. But most of the time, you're going to get a yes. Again, this is an inbound transfer with somebody that's already said they want to meet with an agent. You don't have to be too crazy aggressive. They've already said it, but you want to affirm it that, yes, you're meeting with a valuable agent. Now, they'll say, yeah, that sounds great. Fantastic. Well, we can set this up in a couple different ways. I like to schedule these in person or secondary on Zoom. So that way we can put the voice to a face and get to know each other a little better. Typically, I find that for busy people, later in the afternoon or on the weekends work best for these conversations. So that way you guys are off work. You can focus on one of the biggest, conversations around, learning about real estate. And, this is a big investment. So it's really important. Again, you want to make sure that and I got that in that script, you want to make sure that you find a time for both of them. So oftentimes you'll get people that, well, I can do it at 5, but I got to check with my wife and all that stuff. Hey, I got to check with my husband because he works here. And there's a lot of different ways. I mean, we're going to role play this. This is not an objections training. This is a script training. So we're going to assume that, yep, they're ready to rock and roll. They want to meet and they're like, yeah, you know what? Weekends works well. Awesome. Well, I've got a Saturday at 9 a.m. and I've got a Saturday at 11 a.m. Which works best for you? All right, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put you in my calendar. Now listen, John, Janie, I'm excited to meet both of you. And by the way, I'm closing up now. I am selling value. I am locking this up. This conversation doesn't need to go any further. I've got the wants, the needs, the pains. I've got the decision maker. They're controllable. We've got the lender chip in play. We've had fun. We're rapport building. Now it's time to save all the value in the goods for the next time we talk. And so, hey, John, I'm excited to meet with you guys, both you and Janie. I think we're going to have a ton of fun. Now, listen, by the end of our meeting, you're going to be one step closer to understanding the market in depth, being confident in this process, and gaining some clarity on whether or not logistically and financially this will be the best for you in your timing and finding that right house at the right price. Now, I'm going to handle any questions that you have, of course, and I'm absolutely sure you're going to enjoy it. No need to bring anything, no need to get all crazy and dressed up. It's going to be a nice, casual, informative, fun conversation that'll make everything else much easier. Now, listen, this is a market-specific script. So our first office that we launched is in San Diego, and I wrote this there. San Diego buyers are a little more laid back. If I know I'm dealing with an attorney and he's looking for a $2 million house, I'm not going to tell him that there's no need to get dressed up, nice, be casual, informative. I'm going to say, listen, this is going to be everything you're looking for. We're going to be in depth about the market. I'm going to talk to you about finding the right deals, and I'll make sure at the end of it, you've had a good, valuable conversation. Sound fair? I twist it just a little bit based on who I'm speaking to. All right? And typically, I'm going to try to find a place that's really close to me, or I'm going to try to find a place that's somewhat close in between the two of us. The reality is that working with buyers is challenging, and if you let them run your schedule, you will. So do your best. Some agents have said, well, I want to give them great service. You can give them great service if they drive an extra 7 minutes. That has no impact on your value or you as a professional. In fact, I've never had my doctor come to my house to give me, I go to him. So, we're the professionals. We're delivering them the value. We're helping finding the deal. And last but not least, we're going to close up and affirm the schedule and set the expectations. So we'll say, hey, awesome, John, Janie, we're all set. I'm going to send you my contact card via text after we hang up. So that way you got my number saved. I'll also send you an email confirming the appointment. The morning of, I'm going to give you a call and I'm going to make sure that everything's still good. If you need to reschedule, give me a call. And I have flexibility. We can make that happen. Did you have any questions before I leave? Now, you guys will notice that I didn't deliver this script flawlessly. You guys will notice that there were a couple times where I was off script, but because I know this information so much, I can literally flip it around, change it a little bit. I don't train people to be robots. I train people to open up their greater sales side that's unique to them. So this is one of the versions that has worked really well for me. I've always tried to be a salesperson that's informative, educational, somebody that'll tell you to walk away from a deal if need be. And then when it comes to getting stuff done, I've been aggressive to move things forward on behalf of the clients. That's been my style and approach. However, everybody's different. So one of the cool things about the partner model, though, is through the coaching, through the training, we can tailor this up to you. And it's something that doesn't need as much tweaking as one might think, but that's something that we'll cover in the conversations we do. I hope you found this training really valuable. If you have any questions, you can email me, Josh, Joshp for my last name, Pono, at first, 1st, class, RE, like realestate.com. Again, that's Josh P at firstclassre.com, 1st, not FIRST. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Hope this was valuable.